Good morning, South End Bears. This is Miss Moore again. This is SEL Lesson 3 on self-regulation. Self-regulation is when we can tell how we're feeling and decide what we need to do to feel better. We're going to talk about how we recognize our own feelings and what to do when we have strong feelings. Let's take a look at this slide. Becoming aware. It's all about becoming aware of how you're feeling on the inside. Recognize different feelings and how to learn to manage them. We have to learn how to control our feelings. When we learn how to control our feelings, even if they're strong, we actually feel better, we get along better with others at school, and we do well or we do better in school as well. Tell someone near how you're feeling now. It could be a parent, or it could be your dog, or it could be a stuffed animal. Tell them how you're feeling right now. Do you feel like this guy, worried about something? This guy, are you angry about something? Or how about this guy, the banana? He looks overwhelmed, like he didn't know which way to go. The book guy here, he looks a little lonely. Here, this guy is definitely green with envy, or he's jealous, which is a form of anger. We have this guy who's sad. Okay, we can tell that by the teardrop coming out of his eye and the worried look on his face as far as his eyes and how his eyebrows are coming down. Or how about this guy? Are you feeling bored? Bored out of your mind. Here, of course, we have somebody that's happy. Here, we also have somebody that's happy and even to the point of laughter. And then here we have somebody that might be maybe a little surprised about something. How do you feel right now? Tell your pet, stuffed animal, or your parent how you're feeling right now. All right. So when you're looking at that, let's talk about how if you've seen other people react with a strong feeling. It could be a parent, or it could be a brother or sister. Maybe you have started playing their Xbox and they didn't give you permission and they're not really happy about it. So you kind of get a strong reaction. That would be kind of what we're talking about, learning how to read those social cues and know what to do when we have those strong feelings. Let's take a look at this story and see what we can learn. We're going to read a quick little story here. See if we can get this in real quick. It's going to make me sign in. Let me do that real quick. Got to get my password. Sorry about this. I thought it was just going to pop me into the book that I had ready for you. But we're just going to work through it. Let's see. Up here we go. All right, let's get to this book. And I'm going to read it to you. Taking a minute here. All right. Feelings on the outside and feelings on the inside. Hopefully you can see it now. Let's read this book together. All right. So I'm going to make this full screen so I can see it. How are you feeling right now? Happy, sad, excited, tired? In the story, Z doesn't know what it means to have feelings. The feeling of being happy, sad or afraid, The kids help Z learn that everyone has feelings or emotions and that they can change how you look and sound on the outside and how you feel on the inside. As you listen to the story, pay attention to the different emotions that Z and the kids have and how those feelings change the way they look and sound on the outside and feel on the inside. One day at the treehouse, Z didn't have anything to do. Z kept looking out the window, hoping that someone would come to play. When Z finally saw Kim and Jeremy walking down the path toward the tree house, Z started feeling very tingly inside. The kids climbed the treehouse ladder and came inside. Z zoomed right up to them and said hello with a big smile and a cheery voice. Hi there, Z, they answered. You look like you're feeling very excited today. Z thought about that for a moment. I don't know if I feel excited, said Z. What's a feeling? People have feelings about things that happen to them, explained Kim. Everyone can have lots of different feelings, like being excited or angry or afraid. Feelings can make you look different on the outside and feel differently on the inside. How do you feel today? Z asked Kim. I feel very happy to see you, Z, answered Kim. That's why you see me smiling. I'm smiling too, exclaimed Z, so I'm happy just like you. Being happy feels good. It does feel good to be happy, agreed Jeremy. But sometimes feelings can make you feel kind of uncomfortable. When does that happen? Asked Z. Well, explained Jeremy, sometimes I feel mad, like when I can't fit the last piece in the puzzle or when my favorite toy breaks. When I'm mad, I get a big frown on my face, and sometimes I even squeeze my hands tightly or cross my arms. That doesn't always feel very good. Z remembered how it felt one time when it was someone else's turn to use some stickers, and Z wasn't ready to share them yet. Z felt mad. When I'm mad, said Z, I feel kind of hot and bubbly inside. Just then there was a sharp, loud noise outside. Z gasped and looked out the window with wide eyes. Are you afraid? Asked the kids. Z nodded. It's okay, they explained. That was just the sound of someone hitting a baseball at the ball fields. I don't like being afraid, said Z. It makes my tummy feel icky. Will you come over and sit beside me? The kids and Z sat together and talked about more feelings that they sometimes had until it was time for the kids to go home. And as they were getting ready to leave, the kids noticed that Z suddenly looked a little different. Z was looking down at the ground and Z's mouth was in a frown. I think I'm feeling sad, said Z. I don't want you to go home. We know, said Jeremy. It's so much fun to play together at the treehouse. But don't be too sad, added Kim. We'll be back to play again tomorrow. That made Z's frown turn upside down. Hooray, cheered the kids. You're smiling again, Z. That makes us so happy to see. And Z agreed. It makes me feel happy inside and outside, too. Z says, whenever we're together, my friends help me discover how children on Earth get along with each other. Z wants all of you to remember that everyone has feelings on the outside and on the inside. All right. And I think that is the finish of our read for today. Let's go back to our lesson here. So let's look real quick. Just think about some questions. Have you ever noticed someone looking sad, but you're not sure why? What did you do? In this story, Z has to figure out why one of the kids is feeling sad. The rest of the kids help Z to learn, like by looking for clues and thinking back to what happened in order to understand why they feel sad. As you listened to the story, did you pay attention to what Z thinks so you can figure out why their friends are sad? What can you do to figure out why someone feels the way they do? You can ask, you can look around for clues, can look back at what happened first and guess how someone might feel in that situation. Why is it important for you to try and understand how someone is feeling or why he or she feels that way? Because then it gives you an indication on how you can show you care. It helps me know how to respond to them. What are feelings or emotions? Feelings are how my body looks and sounds on the outside when there's something on the inside that something has happened. Does everyone have feelings? How can you figure out how someone else is feeling? You can look at their face, their body, listen to their voice, and ask how he or she feels. Let's check out this other book that I have. It's kind of cool. Let's look at this one. Have you ever noticed someone looking sad but weren't sure why? So let's look at this real quick. This one and see if this is a different story. This one is on our feelings. And hopefully, it's going to come up with me not having to. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Got to give it a minute, see if it can come up. Have to be patient, which is sometimes hard for me to be. All right, so let's look at this one. We'll get it full page so you can see it, so I can see it to read it. All right, if you saw someone get hurt, how would you guess that they might feel after that? How would you guess someone might feel after they got a fun birthday present? In this story, the kids help Z learn how to predict people's feelings or how to guess how people might feel after different things happen. Thinking about how someone might feel can help you understand him or her and help you get along better. As you listen to the story, pay attention to the times Z or the kids predict or make a guess about how someone is feeling. One afternoon, Annie, Gabriel, and Z decided that it would be a lot of fun to play with some clay. As Gabriel got the bucket of clay down from the shelf, Annie told Z, I am so excited to make some clay animals and bugs and creatures. But when Gabriel and Z opened the bucket of clay, they saw that it was dry and hard. Annie's going to be sad that we can't use this, said Gabriel to Z. Then they brought the bucket over to show Annie. Look, the clay is all dried up. Oh no, said Annie with a frown. I'm sad that we can't play with it today. Z looked at Gabriel in amazement. You were right that Annie would be sad. How did you know that? Z asked. Well, I didn't know that for sure. It was just a guess, Gabriel explained. When you're really excited to do something and then you can't do it, that can make you feel sad. So I predicted or guessed that's how Annie would feel about the clay. Then Gabriel's face brightened as he looked across the room. Hey, there's another bucket on the shelf. Gabriel and Z got the bucket down and looked inside. It was full of new, soft clay. I predict that this is going to make Annie feel very happy, said Z. Z was right. When they showed Annie the clay, she smiled and clapped in her hands. Hooray, she said. I'm so glad that you found this. Let's see what we can make. Gabriel decided to make the longest snake ever. He rolled the clay into a long, thin rope, but when he tried to pick it up, it broke and squished the clay up into a ball and then rolled it out again. But it fell apart a second time. Gabriel tried to make a third snake, but the clay broke into pieces again. Z whispered to Annie, I think that Gabriel is feeling mad because the clay won't stay together. That's a good guess, replied Annie. Let's find out how he feels. When Z asked Gabriel how he felt, Gabriel sighed and said, I'm kind of mad that I can't make a snake that won't fall apart. Another word for that would be frustrated. Annie suggested that Gabriel make a big, thick snake instead of a thin one. He tried her idea, and the snake stayed in one piece. I finally did it, said Gabriel. I think you must really feel proud, said Z. Gabriel agreed that he did. Then Annie showed Z what she had made. It was a creepy, crawly bug. Z shivered a little and said, Oh, that's scary. I don't want it by me. Okay, said Annie. I'll put it on the other side of the table. No, but don't put it by Gabriel, exclaimed Z. I think he will be scared too. But Gabriel picked up the creepy crawly bug and said, Oh, cool, you made a doodle bug. Z was puzzled, but I thought you would be scared of it like I was. Gabriel shook his head. Some people are scared of bugs, but I think they're pretty neat. Sometimes people feel differently about the same thing, so that's why you should ask them how they feel to know if your guess is right. Gabriel, Annie, and Z spent the rest of the afternoon making snakes and bugs and lots of other clay creatures. They all thought that they would be very happy to do this again sometime. Z says, Whenever we're together, my friends help me discover how children on earth get along with each other. Z wants all of you to remember that it's important to think about how others might feel and that everyone can feel differently. And that's the end of that story. All right. So let's go back to our lesson. And of course, we see how that Z was able to predict some of the feelings that his friends had, depending on the situation. But not always. Sometimes we do have to ask the other person what they're feeling because it might take us by surprise. Just like he was kind of surprised that that Gabriel wasn't scared of the creepy crawly bug that Annie had made. So sometimes we have to clarify just to ask what's going on or what they're really thinking. So it's activity time. It's time for you to maybe do a little feeling charade. The class is going to be discussing how to recognize emotions or feelings, and that's what we're talking about today. And so this activity is going to help you with that. Of course, emotions or feelings such as happiness, sadness, or anger, they can change the way you feel on the inside of your body. Emotions or feelings can change the way you look and how you sound on the outside. Examples could include the way your face looks, the way you move your body, or the sound of your voice. Everyone shows their emotions in different ways. We can pay attention to how someone looks or sounds and try to figure out how they're feeling. See if you can think of as many emotion names as you can and write down those responses on a piece of notebook paper. Here on this slide, we have some examples. We have somebody that's a face that looks afraid. We also have a face that feels embarrassed. Another one that's happy, another one that's angry, another one that's sad. And then we also have one that's surprised. So look at the range of faces that we have. So with this, you want to make sure what you can do is you can make face cards. You can take a piece of paper and then you can draw out circles and you can make different faces like these faces on the slide, those different feelings. And then you can ask someone in your house, maybe your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, maybe even a grandparent, how they feel on the inside. These are some things that you can do that's fun with when you're at home. And you might can even act these out. So, for instance, if you made these cards and you drew one out, and maybe you would give a facial expression where somebody else guesses how you're feeling, you can do that activity with your parents or with whoever's in your household. So we see that emotions or feelings can change our bodies. It can change how our eyes look, our mouth, how our body is moving, how our voice sounds different, because inside feelings feel different. What can you do to figure out how others are feeling? You can look at their faces and their bodies, listen to their voices, and that can tell you how they feel. Now that we know how to recognize how we're feeling, now we're going to talk about what we can do if we have a strong feeling, or how we can help others or help ourselves feel better. We're going to do that here by learning how to control those strong feelings. We have 3 steps, 3 basic steps that can help you. The first one is stop and use your signal. The second step is to name your feeling. And the third is to calm down using breathing, counting, or using positive self talk. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about these in detail. So, let's see what we have here. The first one, whenever we have a really strong feeling that comes upon us, we have to first stop and tell our mind and body to stop so we can help ourselves calm down. You can figure out some kind of signal, like something you say to yourself that will help you calm down, like, wait a minute, hang on, or it could be fiddlesticks. Something as a signal to let you know that you need to stop and you need to take note of how you're feeling. This signal will help you pay attention and get your brain back in the game. What's a signal you could say or do to help you work through strong feelings? Tell someone, your dog or an animal or your parents or your brother or sister, tell someone nearby what your word would be as a signal. The next one, let's see what we have here. After we have stopped and we use our signal to try to calm down, we have to name that feeling. We have to figure out what feeling that we're feeling at that moment. So you can tell yourself to stop, use your signal. Mine would be, wait just a minute. Name that feeling. I'm feeling really angry about this right now. These steps will help you prepare how to deal with these strong feelings. And then the last one is to calm down. You got to stop, use your signal. You've got to name that feeling. And then the third one, calming down. And we're going to use some of these ideas on the slide to help us to calm down. Like the first one, belly breathing. How to calm. We just take some deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth, filling our lungs with air. It kind of looks like this. See, and I feel like my lungs got full of air when I did that. And I'm breathing from down at my belly, okay? But in through my nose and out through my mouth. So I'm taking some deep breaths. I might also, another thing that I can do is counting. I use my brain to count. Now I might count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or I could get fancier when I learn how to count by fives. Maybe it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Maybe it's by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So there's different ways that you can do the counting, but sometimes that can help us calm down. We can count out loud or we can count in our heads, okay? And then the third one is using self-talk, saying good things to ourselves like, I can do this. No problem. I've got this. No worries. This will be a cinch. This is no big deal. I can do this one step at a time. And these are the things that we can do to help us work through those strong feelings. Let's check out this video, this dance video. You might even want to dance with the video, but listen to the words. It's called the Calm It Down Dance. Here we go. Make it big.
Every day we can have strong feelings, strong emotions that send us reeling. But there are steps we can take to calm down. These are the keys to turn things around.
Just stop and name your feeling. Turn on your brain. Start thinking, not just feeling.
Calm it down. Do some breathing. Calm it down. And some counting.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Calm it down.
That's a pretty cool song. Kind of could play through that a couple times, and sometimes you might even think about that song when you are trying to calm yourself down. Just a beat of that was kind of a cool song. So let's take a quick look. The reasons why we want to be able to handle those strong feelings are we know that we're going to want to feel better. We'll get along better with others when we learn how to control those strong feelings. And we have more fun and stay out of trouble. So those are some things that we definitely want. And we want to be more successful in school. So this is the end of our session today. I hope this has spurred you to think about identifying different feelings and what to do if those feelings are strong. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the lesson. I've enjoyed being with you today. And I hope that this will spark some conversation with you and your parents about different feelings that you might feel and how to handle those strong feelings. I hope you have a great day.